Hi, welcome to Random Phantom Chats. I'm Dee Dee.
I'm Tandra.
And this is Annabeth. Here we talk about anything sci-fi fantasy related, and today we're going to be covering Iron Man, specifically the movies. Now, when I say Iron Man movie, what is probably the first word that pops into your head?
I don't know. I think it's just cool.
Cool?
Yeah.
That's the first one that probably pops into my head.
I mean, because, his suit's really cool. And
the actor plays Iron Man and Tony Stark so well. Robert Downey Jr. does an amazing job in this movie. So much so that I don't think I could probably see another live-action portrayal of Iron Man without Robert Downey Jr. And I'm just like, no, it just doesn't work.
Well, and he's played it in so many movies, not just the Iron Man movies,
right,
but in other movies that have Iron Man in them.
Now, this is actually the first movie that Marvel did for their Marvel Cinematic Universe, which, if you guys don't know, that is what Marvel's trying to do now, where all of their superhero movies interconnect and are all one cohesive universe. They call it the MCU. And this was the first movie of that, which is pretty interesting, I think. And it kind of interests me that they chose Iron Man to do that with, because it's specifically the Avengers that they're trying to focus on with these movies.
Well, and it is interesting because Iron Man is not one of the superheroes or not one of the characters that people think of necessarily when they think of comics.
Not necessarily, although he is a very popular character.
He is.
Specifically with Marvel, I would say probably the most readily recognized character would probably be Wolverine.
Or Spider-Man.
But of course, at the time that these movies were coming out, they didn't own the rights to those, and they still don't own some of the rights to those franchises, so they focused more on the Avengers.
Which is pretty cool, because for those of us who haven't actually read those comics, it's nice to see those characters.
That is one thing that I think that they have done very well with these movies, and specifically Iron Man, is that they made it to where you don't have to be, well-versed in comics. Like, I've probably read 5 Iron Man comics in my entire life. So, when I went to go see the movie, or when I saw the movie, I pretty much had just a very vague knowledge of Iron Man and his origins that, I happened to read on the internet or whatever. And it still made sense to me. You didn't have to have all this huge background of comic books and Iron Man to enjoy the movie.
Oh yeah, you got where he got the technology, you understood.
It was an origin story that wasn't super overdone and boring.
Right, there didn't need to be a ton of background or a ton of extrapolation or exposition. There didn't need to be a lot of that. It made perfect sense. It had a lot of action in it. It had a lot of cool special effects.
The humor in it is great.
Right.
Of course, that's pretty easy when you're writing somebody like Tony Stark. He's just a humorous guy.
Well, and that's one of my favorite things about whenever you can have a good action or drama related movie with a lot of comedy in it.
And when you can present it in a way that doesn't change the tone, because sometimes that can be a problem with movies, is that they have trouble focusing their tone. Well, they'll try to have both action and comedy, but you're not really sure which it's supposed to be. And they pull it off pretty well to where it's an action movie with comedy in it.
Right, and the comedy is nice because it helps kind of relieve that tension a little bit and kind of focus you back. Okay, we'll calm down a little. And it's a nice stress reliever. It's a nice way to get away from all the major stuff that's going on. Just those little snippets and other things. Plus, it's just cathartic to laugh and smile and all. So that's always nice. And he does. I mean, he just has those great quips and great stuff. Because honestly, Tony Stark's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I'm honestly not that fond of Tony Stark as a character for the most part, because I don't like arrogant people or people who let their arrogance be like their dominating trait. And that can definitely be said for Tony Stark.
Totally.
But I still really like him, and I still really enjoy at least the first Iron Man movie. Now, in my opinion, I know a lot of people out there have different opinions, and that's fine. I really like the first one. The second Iron Man movie was okay, and then the third one, we just don't even need to talk about the third one. It's kind of like the third X-Men movie that they came out with. We can just not talk about it.
Well, a lot of times when you're doing sequels and all, unless you can come up with a really good storyline,
it starts to run dry.
Or if they're trying to top what they did in the last movie, sometimes that falls flat because they
Right. It's
go
like,
overboard.
you don't need to top everything.
You just
It's
need
like,
to make it good.
Right, you just need to make it good. You don't need to make it bigger and better and greater than the
Right.
last installment. That's not necessary.
So that makes a difference. And then, like I said, the Iron Man appearances and other Avenger movies that they've done, I've really enjoyed.
I really love this cohesive, intertwining universe that they've made with these movies. It just makes watching each movie so much more enjoyable. And it makes it enjoyable to have other people watch them with you. You know, because you get to speculate different things like, oh, is this character going to make a cameo here or whatnot? Usually they don't do that, but it's still interesting to think about sometimes.
So definitely movie series to watch, especially the first one.
I definitely think if you guys haven't watched many of the Marvel movies, this one is probably a good one to start with, like I said, since it's the first one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they did. And it gets your feet wet with the whole Marvel superhero genre.
It sure does. So that's definitely a good one. Why don't we pick out what we're going to do next time? Annabeth, you ready? You ready to pick one out? After we scared you? She's looking at me like, what?
How about 3 green ones?
3 green ones. Which one do you want? Well, that was kind of half-hearted.
She's like, yeah, I'm tired.
All right, let's see what you got here. Another movie, The Invisible Man.
Oh, that would be an interesting one to do.
Been a while back, so yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
All right. If you guys like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you like what we do, subscribe, leave suggestions or comments in the section below. Tell all your friends, and have a nice day.